In the last 48 hours, I've been swamped with questions about the recent shootdowns of the unidentified aerial objects. I just had the opportunity to be part of a congressional briefing with General Van Herk, who is the commander for NORAD, that's the Aerospace Defense Command. Here's what he told us. And yes, all of this is unclassified as of today. With respect to the spy balloon, they have already recovered a lot of the debris, including propulsion equipment, and they expect to gain significant intelligence. With respect to the 3 unidentified aerial vehicles, or UAVs, that have been shot down since then, here's what he told us. After the spy balloon from China was shot down, we made some adjustments to how we scrutinize our airspace in order to watch it more closely. The 3 UAVs that have been shot down were all fundamentally different from the spy balloon in that they were both much smaller and traveling at a much lower altitude. All 3 of those UAVs were traveling at approximately 20,000 to 30,000 feet up, and the spy balloon was 60,000 feet up. 60,000 feet put the spy balloon above where air traffic goes, but 20 to 30,000 feet is in the window for where civilian air traffic goes, which was a factor in shooting them down. Another factor was that none of them had the transponders that are required by the FAA for commercial or academic balloons, so that the FAA knows what's going to be in civilian airspace. It's required that they have transponders, and none of these 3 UAVs appeared to have that. And another factor in shooting them down was that they all had some proximity to a DoD-sensitive location. Of the 3 UAVs that we shot down, one of them was significantly larger than the other 2, while still being smaller than the spy balloon. And that one that was significantly larger does appear to have been, perhaps, a balloon. The other 2 that were much smaller were roughly the size of an ATV or a 4-wheeler. They were so small that apparently we couldn't shoot them down at night. We had to wait for daylight so we could see them well enough to shoot them down. He also said that all 3 of the UAVs appeared to move with the wind, which might give us some insight as to propulsion and general mechanics. He repeatedly said there's no direct evidence that there was anything nefarious going on with them. They could end up being academic or commercial, and that we'll find out when we recover them. And here's what's going on with the recovery. One of the UAVs was shot down over Alaska. The debris may have landed on an ice cap, which may be moving, and the wind chill there right now is roughly -50. The second UAV was shot down in Canada in the middle of some very tall snowy mountains, and we are working with the Canadians to try and find it. A third UAV was shot down near the US-Canadian border, but is probably on the Canadian side, and again, we are working with the Canadians to locate it. The FBI is embedded with all 3 search and recovery efforts currently underway. As of today, there are no other UAVs that have been identified. All of this presented without comment from me because you are entitled to form your own opinions, but I believe that is the most specific publicly available information right now.